I only had one problem with Batman vs. Superman. When Ben Affleck or Batman is running towards the building, the person that he was talking to should have been his wife and his daughter. Do you understand how good the movie would have been if his daughter and his wife died in the building, in the beginning of the movie? That would give him all of the motivation to want to kill Superman, and that would have been then a perfect movie. Perfect. Because I was like, watching it, I was like, why wasn't it like his daughter and his wife? And he decided that he didn't want to be Batman anymore. He was moving on with his life. He had something good. He had a family. He had moved on from being Batman. And then that fateful day when Zod and Superman were fighting, they accidentally killed his family in the building. That would have been perfect. That's a perfect motivation to push Bruce back into it. But when he comes back into it, then he's killing people. He's doing the most. What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. Hope that you guys are all doing good. In this video, we're going to break down the big report. Apparently, if Superman, this new Superman which is about to come out, does not make close to $1 billion, then the studio is going to be sold. That is crazy. So this might be the end of DC as we know it.
I've said many times before that there is a lot of pressure on Superman being successful, but I never thought it had this much pressure on it. It's just been reported that if Superman fails, then David Zaslav may sell the company. Not just DC Studios, but Warner Brothers Discovery. The entire thing sold because of the Superman movie not being a success. I know that sounds insane, so let's talk about this report. So Puck News states the following: James Gunn's Superman has almost incalculable importance to Warner Brothers Discovery, and there is reportedly genuine fear of the film studio going the way of 20th Century Fox, which was acquired by Disney in 2019. From one Warner Brothers veteran, an essential element of the stock price is believing that the IP of DC is meaningful. David Zaslav bets big that they can show the world that the DC IP can have real value. Superman is the first movie. That will set the tone. They have a tremendous amount riding on it. And I've said all along that this movie needs to be a success for the sake of the DCU and James Gunn's job, but a Warner Brothers veteran believes that if this new Superman movie fails, then Warner Brothers Discovery could be sold like how 20th Century Fox was to Disney. That's mental. Zaslav is putting everything on this Superman movie to show that DC has value for the brand, and it makes sense that if Superman can't be successful, then what does that mean for the rest of the DC characters, especially when the guy in charge of DC is making this new Superman film. This Superman movie reflects what DC Studios will be because it's being written, directed, and produced by the man who will greenlight every future DC project and will plan out the...
Do you guys actually believe that James Gunn is the guy for the job? I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds. Do you guys actually believe that? Let's play with this scenario. Let's say that you are the head of DC right now and you can pick any director that you want. Would you have picked James Gunn? Would you be like, okay, let's get that guy? Because if this movie is not successful, then DC is done. And right now on the internet, if you just go into any of the meme pages, they're calling him Tamu Superman, Alibaba Superman. Alibaba Superman is crazy. That's what they're calling him right now. David Cornsweat, the corny Superman. So I'm like, I'm stressed. I want this to be a successful movie. I really, really do. I want it to succeed. I want to be wrong. In 3 months, I want to be wrong. I want to go to the cinema and just be blown away. But some of the pictures which James Gunn has been releasing have just been garbage. Pure garbage. And yes, I understand if we're at the beginning stages where we're showing like these small little teasers, and it's like a joke, but it's no longer a joke. And I love the character of Superman. He's my favorite superhero, but it would have been easier if we put all the weight on Batman. Then Superman can be somewhat of a side character, still as important, but all the weight on Batman. So if you're asking me which movie do you think is going to be more successful, the second Batman movie or this Superman movie with James Gunn? If I just look at the guy's track record, there's nothing that gives me even that confidence to say like, okay, this movie is going to be successful. Right now, what James Gunn is cooking is crazy.
So if Superman is great, then that increases the value of DC's IP, and Warner Brothers will be a stronger studio because of it. But if Superman is average or below, then the value of DC's IP will decrease, and Warner Brothers will be even weaker than they are right now. As of December 2024, Warner Brothers' debt was at $36 billion, which is a 12.25% decrease from the year before, but still so much debt. If one of their most valuable IPs can't be profitable, then what hope do they have with their other franchises that are supposed to make them such a large and successful studio? I honestly can completely understand what this Warner Brothers veteran is talking about, and to hear that there is genuine fear within the studio of them potentially having to sell the company is concerning. That wouldn't be the case if there wasn't a large chance it could happen. For years we've had rumors of other studios being interested in buying Warner Brothers, but nothing really concrete has come out, until now. So I ask you this, do you think Superman can reach the levels it needs to save the DC brand and to ensure Warner Brothers doesn't need to sell the studio? Let me know in the comments below. With the recent news...
Oh my god. Do you guys think so? I just don't get it. I don't get the suits. I don't get what they're thinking. If something is successful or something is mildly successful, it's easier to build on that. Get new directors, new writers, but you already have the foundation. Gal Gadot looks the part. Ben Affleck was a great Batman. Build on that. Look at the strengths. Look at, okay, Zack was very good with the Batman things. Like everything with Batman in Batman vs. Superman was perfect. Build upon that. Get a new director to direct Superman. Get Christopher McQuarrie. Like, make it like a James Bond movie or a Mission Impossible movie, like an action movie.
We don't know if that is a worrying sign or not, that they are making changes to the movie after responses from test screenings, but I'm glad they are being proactive. And I do understand now why Gunn said he is just miserable at the moment with making this film, because he must be under so much pressure, and whilst I admire the confidence to be in that role, I don't have too much sympathy. Ignoring the obvious of him choosing to reboot and replace popular actors and movies, and only keeping his own movies and actors, he chose to be the writer and director of this Superman film, and he accepted the DC Studios gig. Those things come with lots of pressure, and he chose to do them. So I really hope the confidence he has in himself is valid and the movie is great, but I don't have too much sympathy with the way he's feeling right now.
This movie has to make $1 billion. And I've been reading all of the comments. You do not know what you're talking about. You're stupid. Somebody get this monkey out of here. Bro, I've been reading all of the comments. And I was right. I was right. Everything that I've said happened. Every specific thing that I said, even before the trailer came out, I was like, and this was like a year ago, where I was like, why are we doing this? When I was in Thailand, I heard the news, James Gunn is the director. I'm like, whoa, what? What's going on? Like, who hired this guy? Why? Why was my first like thought? I was like, why is he the head? And then I was like, okay, hey, we do not know. Let's just give it time. And then he's gonna direct the Superman movie. And I'm like, why do we keep on doing this? History will repeat unless you learn the lesson. And we haven't learned anything. The dude was there. He literally had it all. Snyder had it. He had it. He understood what it was. People did not just allow him to create. And to this day, I look back at Man of Steel. I'm just like, can we just get a Man of Steel 2 with Henry Cavill? Just allow the dude to do what he does good, what he does great, and that is direct. That's it. Let another person come in and write the script. Like, let all of these people, like, even get Nolan to help out. But this thing ain't gonna make $1 billion. It's not. Unless there's something, like, there must be something which I do not know about this movie right now. They must be. I have a theory, okay? This is what I think. I think they made this movie thinking like, you know what? If we're around 600 million, then we're good. If we can do what Man of Steel did, a little bit better than that, then that's okay. They were very confident with James Gunn. That's what I believe. They started looking at the dailies and they continued and they're like, listen, this movie is actually going to make, if not 800 million. But then, of course, they had these test screenings and they're like, we already know that this movie is a masterpiece. So then they have the test screenings and then they realize that the people hate the movie. But okay, all of those mistakes were done. And now they're like, okay, people really hate the flying. And we have a lot of these shots of Superman flying with the wide angle lens. So what we need to do right now is refilm the movie. Oh, but that's going to cost us a lot. Yes, it is. So what I think is the budget has ballooned to maybe 4, maybe 500 million because they had to reshoot a lot. And that is why he's stressed. And that's why they're like, you know what? If we put in 400 million in this thing has to make $1 billion. That's why I think that they are stressed, because they're like, we wasted too much money on this moron. On this guy which looks like Santa Claus. I mean, just look at the guy. He looks like Santa Claus. And let's get that guy. That guy? Yeah, that guy. Literally anybody could have made, like, I could have gotten my sister to direct this movie and she would have done a better job than this guy. He got 400 million to direct this movie. But what did he do? He gave us a dog, a super dog, and like everything that I've seen has been garbage. People really hate this movie. And it's not even out. That's a crazy part. Like, there's one teaser trailer. Imagine when the trailer does come out. So the guy is panicking right now. And there's a reason why we haven't seen anything. So Warner Brothers are panicking. And they're saying, if this garbage does not make $1 billion, we're out. And not even that. If it doesn't, we're probably just going to have to sell the studio.